One of the most praised aspects of God of War is how detailed the game is as a whole. From the character models, environments, you name it. There's even detail in things one wouldn't expect and would instead call it usual game logic for the player to understand. What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, and today we're going to be talking about the visual markings throughout the game in God of War and how they are more than just indicators for the player. Visual markings for the player to understand where to head next in the game is far from unique and is used quite often, with games like Uncharted using yellow piping to indicate climbing sections to diamond waypoints in Borderlands. They take form in many different ways across a variety of games, and in most iterations of games they are simply just as a means for the player, not in any way, shape or form tied to the lore of the game. The usual explanation would be a module or device that allows a character in the game to see the way to their next objective. However, God of War's visual markings mean a lot more than just a means of knowing where to go next. Within the game, the intricately designed yellow markings indicate areas Kratos and Atreus can climb. Usually they are located in a place for the player to advance to the next part of the game or find a chest to grow Kratos' skills in game. They seemed like cool ways to indicate to players a climbing section. However, Mr. Cory Barlog has an explanation for them. He revealed in a spoiler podcast with Easy Allies, which, side note, I totally recommend you watch in full after this video. It is an incredible podcast, but first he explains the notion of visual language, the use of yellow pipes and white paint like we discussed before. Those are the markings most studios and game developers usually use to indicate players where their next objective is. But following that, he drops this absolute bombshell.
So the visual language in this game was placed by Faye.
Every cool, interesting looking yellow mark across the game that indicated the next destination or climbing were all placed by Faye. This is backed up in the end when it's revealed that Faye all along was not just a mortal but a giant and had immense power to even foretell the journey you would take with Atreus. She essentially orchestrated all of the events of the game, guiding Kratos and Atreus to have them end up at the end of the game to arrive at Jotunheim. And with those markings being placed by Faye herself, she walked the exact same path Kratos and Atreus did throughout the game, revealing truly how powerful she was when she was living. With her being a giant, her main ability was the gift of prophesizing, as she carved the murals you see in the last level showing the entire journey you took with Atreus before you spread her ashes above the highest peak. And Barlog does not stop there. He goes on to explain that generally speaking, us as humans, when dealt with a task that is emotionally draining and difficult, we tend to stall. She tried to ensure that both of them don't stall and get to the task at hand. An example being Faye selecting the trees her body would be cremated on. It was a way of forcing them to start the journey, and those markings also deterred Kratos and Atreus from being distracted while on the journey as well. He also holds the opinion that Faye is by far the most powerful character throughout the story, because she essentially kickstarted every event Kratos and Atreus endured throughout the game. It's beautiful. And the reason why this is so beautiful to me is because it highlights and shows my favorite part of this game, and that is the dynamic between Kratos and Atreus and how it grows throughout the game. Kratos and Atreus have a very rough relationship in the beginning few hours of the game. Atreus clearly has animosity towards Kratos, even wishing he took Faye's place in death. It's brutal and sad. Kratos replies to Atreus as if he's an annoyance, not even by using his name, strict as a dad can be, and they both have substantial friction. However, the journey healed that. Kratos going into the light and getting a glimpse of Atreus' thoughts helped him gain perspective and change the way he interacts with him, leading him to eventually spill the beans on the godly roots both of them wield, thus letting Atreus understand that Kratos was just trying to spare him the suffering that comes with being a god. The fact that through death, Faye used this journey as a means to bring Kratos and Atreus together speaks volumes to the person she was. While we don't ever see her in the game and all information about her is offhandedly said by others, Atreus at the end of the game mentions that he feels she wanted them to help people, be better gods at that than those in the past. While we could talk for hours as to why Faye left her true nature a secret, while even knowing that her husband Kratos was a god, she quite literally paved the way for the events in the game. And not only did Faye leave those intricate looking markings to indicate the next waypoint for them, Faye also wrote everything in yellow in the game game. So if it's a wall of text and it's not blue and it's yellow, Faye actually wrote that as well. And it's just incredible to hear that we have this character where, you know, really the whole entire story is centered around her. You know, we are bringing her ashes to the top of the highest peak as requested by her, and just having this small request that seems like just a simple request that you could easily see a mother or father asking of their children as to where they want their ashes to be spread, and for that to mean so much more and to be so much more of a request not only for her but for the sake of Kratos and Atreus' relationship as a whole. But enough of me, I want to know what you guys think. What do you gather from Faye pushing Kratos and Atreus to go on this journey? Do you have other explanations as to why she did the things she did or withheld the things she withheld? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And I am still working on my God of War review, so it will take a little bit. I am having a lot of work put into this. I want to just make this review, just have everything that I've thought about this game as a whole into this video, and it's going to be a lot of work, and I am steadily working on it. I am chugging along in the background of other videos that I want to put out before this review, but have no fear of this coming eventually. And make sure also, while you are waiting for that, to check out our description where you can find our Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow us on there. And make sure to also keep it locked here on the channel in the coming weeks, and we are doing a lot of changes to the channel. Keep up to date on the channel. Make sure to keep it locked here and subscribed, as you'll be the first to know of said changes when I can finally talk about them, because it's been a long time coming and I cannot wait to share it with you all. But thank you all for watching, and as always, keep on following.